It's Christmas night and every...
Hello my dears, welcome back to my corner of the internet. Today I've got another sit-down Vlogmas video for you guys for Vlogmas Day 21. So hard to believe Christmas is just a few days away. So today's video is going to be my favorite Christmas movies. I wanted to share them with you guys and have you guys share your favorites with me. This video was originally supposed to be my top 10 favorite Christmas movies, but once I actually sat down and got compiling them, it got a little bit away from me. Not too much, but a little. So these were in no particular order. We're just going to start talking about them and see where we go. So the first one that I want to talk about is Little Women. This is one of not only my favorite Christmas movies, but one of my favorite all-time movies. I love this story so much. It's a story of, for anyone unfamiliar, it was a book originally, and then it's been made into films many times. But this one is my personal favorite. It stars Winona Ryder, Kirsten Dunst, Susan Sarandon, Claire Danes, and Christian Bale. And it came out, I believe, I want to say 90, let me see if it says, I want to say 94. Yeah, 94. So it came out in 1994. I can remember my aunt taking me to see it on Boxing Day that year, the year it came out. And I was familiar with the story, and I was so excited to see it come to life. And I was absolutely smitten with everybody. Susan Sarandon as the mother is amazing. So the story is of four sisters who are living with their mother while their father's away at war. The sisters are all very different. You have Beth, who is so quiet and so shy and very musically talented. Then you have Meg, who's the eldest in every possible sense of the word. Then you have Joe, who is the writer, who is very ambitious and kind of a dreamer and very likable, I found. She was the one who, at the time, I found most relatable. And then there's Amy, young Amy, beautiful Amy. Amy's very luxurious and very beautiful and the youngest in every possible sense of the word. So it shows us their lives. And then Theodore Lawrence moves in next door, the handsome boy, who they're all very, very curious about, and who he becomes equally as smitten with each and every one of them for different reasons. And yeah, it's a story of four sisters and the life that they live while their father's away at war. It then does go on to kind of follow them throughout. There's one scene in this movie that I will never get over. It happens when Joe, who's played by Winona Ryder, has been writing a manuscript and writing it and writing it and writing it. And when she gets to go to a party that her younger sister Amy does not, she comes home to find that Amy has put the manuscript in the fire. I still haven't forgiven Amy for that to this day, and I don't know how Joe did so quickly. So that's Little Women, one of my all-time favorite movies, and one I would definitely recommend checking out if you haven't already. Also, read the book. It's so good. Next up, we have Elf. I love Elf so much. I'm sure everyone's already seen it. It stars Will Ferrell as Buddy the Elf, who is this human who had crawled into the sack of Santa Claus when he was this very small baby and Santa was at an orphanage. And so he gets taken to the North Pole, and then they find him and they're like, well, I guess we're gonna have to keep him, and they kind of raise him as an elf. But as time goes on, Buddy realizes that he is not quite like all the others. He's much too tall, for one. He's not good at making toys. And, you know, he's not like the others. And then eventually he finds out that he's not an elf, he's human. And he decides to go to New York City to try to find his father. So first of all, we have a classic fish out of water story. And I've got to tell you, I love a good fish out of water story. So Buddy goes to New York to find his father, who's played by James Caan. And hilarity ensues. It is so funny. There is such a beautiful innocence to this character. It's perfect for the whole family. And I mean, if you don't love Elf, why don't you love Elf? Next up, we have The Holiday. This stars Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, Jude Law, and Jack Black. This is one of 3 roles that Jack Black has played that I find him tolerable. There's Kung Fu Panda, which my daughter was obsessed with when she was littler. There's High Fidelity, which is a John Cusack movie, and I didn't hate him in that. And then there's The Holiday, in which he's actually absolutely charming and fantastic. So it's the story of 2 women who, for very different reasons, are just kind of at their wits' end. And they need a getaway. So they both log on to this website. So I should tell you, Kate Winslet lives in England. Cameron Diaz lives in America. They live very different lives. Kate Winslet lives in a lovely little cottage. Cameron Diaz lives in a very posh home. She has a very high stress, fast-paced lifestyle, which is the exact opposite of what Kate Winslet is living. So you log onto this website where you can kind of swap homes for a certain amount of time. So that way you can kind of have accommodations where you're going and also give accommodations to someone who's coming. So that's kind of where we begin. And then they swap their homes, and then they meet the people in each other's lives. And it's just such a charming, beautiful story that is so wonderfully done. All the actors are wonderful. So that's the main storyline. All the shoot-off storylines are beautiful. And if you haven't seen it, it's a must-watch. Next up, we have, what do we have? A Christmas Story. So in A Christmas Story, we have 9-year-old Ralphie who wants nothing more in this entire world than a Red Ryder, is it Red Ryder? Yes, a genuine Red Ryder carbine action air rifle, 200 shot. I think that's it. And his dad is a grump, and his dad says, no, Ralphie, you'll shoot your eye out. And it's about this kid who is trying with all of his might to deal with his bully, to keep his glasses intact and make it to Christmas. And for the love of all that is right and good in this world, get this air rifle. So, there's just so many iconic moments in this movie. The Christmas pajamas Ralphie wears, the award that his father wins. There are so many funny moments in this film. And it's, again, great for the entire family. Which, you know, for Christmas, you want a film that you can watch with everyone. Speaking of 9-year-olds, Kevin McAllister, Home Alone, classic. It's the tale of, again, Kevin McAllister, who has a very big family who are horribly neglectful parents, and they leave him home when they go on holidays. So at first, it's all fun and games, and he decorates the house and for Christmas, and he's getting ready, and he's having a good time. But then his home is kind of cased and attacked by 2 burglars, and all kinds of wildness ensues. There are sequels, of course, to Home Alone, and, you know, they have their moments, but nothing beats the first one. Next up, we have, okay, this one had to be on the list. It's not necessarily one of my top favorites specifically, but it's one that, it's a story that I love, and I've watched many incarnations of it. And currently, this is the one that we're watching most recently, and it's the one my daughter loves, and this is A Christmas Carol. This is the Jim Carrey version, and it's fantastic. I kind of went back and forth between adding this one or adding The Grinch, because you know, they're kind of the same cold, melted, life-changed sort of stories. But I went with A Christmas Carol in the end because I'm a huge Dickens fan, and it couldn't be left out. It's the story of a very rich, very miserable old man who cares only for his business, and throughout his life he's let his family fall by the wayside. He treats his employees horribly, and he's just miserable. And so one Christmas Eve he's visited by 3 ghosts: the ghosts of Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas future. And those ghosts are there to show him, show him his life as it is, as it was, and as it will be, and in hopes to make him have a change of heart, which of course he does. And it's just a wonderful story. So if you have not seen A Christmas Carol, any version of it, this is a good one though. It's very well done. I definitely recommend you check it out. What's next? Next up is definitely one of my all-time favorite films, and It's a Wonderful Life. To anyone who hasn't seen It's a Wonderful Life, it's the story of a man who, well, first it opens with 2 angels up in heaven, and they're speaking about him. And they're talking about how he's in need of he's going through a very difficult time, and he's in need of a reminder of the good things. So what has happened is, with his company, he's lost a lot of money. He's misplaced it, and he figures it's all ruined. Everything is ruined, and he has nothing to live for, and everything that he's touched and everyone he's come into contact with is worse off because of it. So we have this angel who is sent down to Earth to come to him and to show him the ways that his very existence has changed people's lives for the better. So it's just done in such a beautiful way, where the angel takes him in the past, things that he, just little tiny things that he did that had such a great and lasting impact on people. And yeah, it's just a really beautiful story and a great reminder, and something that we could all use sometimes, just to remember that, when things seem big and bad and heavy, they're usually not as bad as they seem. And when you look at the big picture, that's what's important, seeing the big picture. Just such a great film. Next up, we have Christmas with the Cranks, which is a film starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Tim Allen, and was based on a story called Skipping Christmas, written by John Gershom, of all people. So it's about this couple, and their daughter is going away right before Christmas. She's going over to do work. They should join the Marine Corps to do work and to do good, and she's leaving I'm thinking like probably around Thanksgiving-ish, and she's not going to be home for Christmas. And Jamie Lee Curtis, Nora, she's very sad about it. But, you know, they carry on, and then one day, Tim Allen is out, and he's drenched in rain, just head to toe, and he sees an advert for a cruise. And he decides, you know, Blair, that's their daughter, she's not going to be home. Why are we doing this? Why are we torturing ourselves with Christmas when she's not here and we're sad? So he goes home, he sells this to his wife. At first, she's very, very reluctant because his catches, they have to skip everything Christmas. No tree, no Frosty the Snowman on the roof, which is a neighborhood thing. Everybody does it. It's going to be a huge deal. No Christmas cards, no charitable donations at first, and no Christmas Eve party that they host every year. So she's a tough sell, but she gets him to kind of break on the charitable donations, and once he does that, she's in. So they're getting ready, they're tanning, they're buying new clothes, they're fending off their friends and neighbors who just don't get why they're doing this. And then on Christmas Eve day, they're going to be setting sail on Christmas morning. They get a call from their daughter that, actually, guess what? She found the time and she is coming home with her new fiance for Christmas. So Tim Allen's kind of like, tell her we're not going to be here. But the mom, of course, is like, can't wait to see you. So then it just kind of becomes this mad dash for them to get the Christmas party ready because their daughter Blair can't wait for it. It's funny. It's incredibly, incredibly touching. There's a scene at the end that I cannot get through dry-eyed no matter how many times I've seen the movie, and I've seen it many times. So definitely recommend that one. Next up, we have Irving Berlin's Holiday Inn, starring Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire. This is like the epitome of Christmas. Basically, in a nutshell, if you haven't seen Holiday Inn, it's about there's a trio of entertainers, and it's two men, Fred and Bing, and then this woman, and they're a song and dance group, and they entertain in clubs and things like that. And one of the men and one of the women is set to get married, and then that breaks apart. So the man who was going to marry her, he decides he's leaving the group. So what he does is he goes and he opens up a hotel. And the kind of catch of the hotel is it's only open on holidays. Holiday Inn. So eventually the other one breaks off and comes and joins him. And then there is, of course, a different woman, and they're both kind of vying for her attention. And it's just such a gorgeous, gorgeous musical with such beautiful singing and dancing. It's also where the song White Christmas originally came from. It was written for this film. And actually, Irving Berlin, fun little fact here, was a little taken aback when that became the sort of runaway hit song. He had kind of thought the Valentine's Day song was going to be the hit. But White Christmas, of course, as we know, is a much beloved Christmas carol. So if you're like me and you love the black and whites, the old, grand, overacted holiday films, this is definitely one for you. So let's see what else we have left on the list. Cranks. Okay. I want to mention two more. I'm going to cut myself off there because I feel like this video is going to be very long and there's still so many I'd like. Christmas Vacation. These two are just going to kind of be ones kind of thrown in with not too much explanation. But Christmas Vacation starring Chevy Chase, well, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It is so funny. It's, you know, simply about a family who's trying to get through the holidays. Sometimes those are just the funniest ones too, aren't they? Clark Griswold, the movie starts off with Clark and his family going to get a tree. Once they get out there, they realize they don't have anything to cut it down with, so they have to uproot it. And there's this great scene of them driving home with the tree and the roots and everything strapped to the roof of their car. And it's just so funny. There are so many standout scenes from that film. It's a little, you know, it's not for everyone in the family. Like, my daughter hasn't seen it yet because it's a little too much. But definitely for people with adult sense of humor, it's perfect. This one has to be thrown in as an honorable mention, if nothing else. It's called Trapped in Paradise. It's from 1993. Or 4. It's starring Nicolas Cage and Dana Carvey and Jon Lovitz. And Dana Carvey and Jon Lovitz are, well, all 3 of them are brothers. Those 2 are in prison. Nicolas Cage is the kind of responsible brother who's going to go pick them up. So while the 2 brothers are on the inside, they hear about a very small town nearby that's got a bank that has no security. That's an easy hit. So they get out, and they're telling this to their brother that they want to go and rob this bank. So at first he's not having it. But then eventually somehow he gets talked into it, and they pull it off. But then what happens is, as they're driving away from the bank, it's icy and the car goes off the road. And then the neighbor, the townspeople kind of rally together, take them in, and are like, you guys, what can we do for you? And it gets so funny. Because now they're stuck with these people that they've robbed, and they don't know how to get out. It's definitely good. If you can find it, I don't know where you could find it. It's not on Netflix, at least not on Canadian Netflix, and I haven't seen it on TV or anything in a long time, and I don't own a copy of it, but every time I do see it, I make sure to watch it. It's so funny. And one final one is The Family Stone. If you haven't seen that, it's so good. It's not just good as a Christmas movie, it's great as a film overall. It stars the guy who plays Coach. And Coach, what the hell? I can never remember his name. I'll put it right here. Rachel McAdams, Diane Keaton, Luke Wilson, Dermot Mulroney. You know, the 2 actors with the names are very similar. Dermot Mulroney. He's in it. And there's others. It's a beautiful ensemble cast. It's about a family coming home for the holidays, and Sarah Jessica Parker is brought into this family as an outsider. She is dating the eldest brother, and she's just not their kind of people. She's very stuffy and professional and pulled together, and they're very artsy and flowy, and they're just different. And some of the family members, especially the sister played by Rachel McAdams, just immediately has a complete dislike of her. So it's just them, again, a family surviving Christmas, and then there's also some really touching scenes. Oh, Claire Danes is in it as well. I almost forgot that, but yes, so good, so good. These are all so good. Let me know in the comments down below what some of your favorites are. I would love to check them out if I haven't already. And yeah, that's it for today. Tomorrow I'm gonna have a fun vlog, I hope, because I'm gonna be going into the city with my mom. So hopefully we'll have some fun footage to share with you. And yeah, that's it. This is a wrap on day 21 of Vlogmas. I can't believe we're here already, but yes. Have a great night or day or morning or afternoon, wherever it is, where you are, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.